Today's movie channels the best elements of the splatter era of Italian genre cinema. So grab your black gloves and sharpen your straight razor because we're headed to giallo territory. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka the Horror Geek, and today we're tackling Adam Brooks and Matthew Kennedy's splattery Italian horror parody, The Editor. Released in 2014, The Editor is a parody/love letter to the classic giallo and Italian horror films of the 70s and 80s. Filled with mystery, hilarious acting, a nonsensical plot, and plenty of splatter, this one is a treat for anyone who loves spaghetti chillers. Or in other words, me. So, pour yourself a double shot of J&B and lock your doors, because we're not leaving anything on the editing room floor this week. But enough about that. Can the editor make enough cuts to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's video is sponsored by patrons David Maurice, The Packet Thrower, and Brad Zeba. Hope I didn't murder your name, Brad. If you'd like to help sponsor some videos and free me from the shackles of YouTube's tyranny, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the pinned comment and description below. And now, let's get bloody. We open on the Astron 6 logo. These are the same guys responsible for The Void, so this is probably going to be a good one. Silly Canadians, still calling video chat telefilm. What a bunch of hosers. Oh, sweet, it's basically a Tina Turner song up in here. Kennedy Brooks Incorporated sounds like a manufacturing company. Innovation, safety, technology. At Kennedy Brooks Incorporated, we're dedicated to bringing you a brighter future. Pretty solid cast, too. Paz de la Huerta, Lawrence Harvey from the Human Centipede sequels, and Udo Kier. You last saw Udo in Mark of the Devil. If you thought we were done with the credits, guess again. Sheila E. Campbell. I love the glamorous life. What? Oh, that was a different Sheila E. My bad. Whoa, music by Claudio Simonetti and Carpenter Brute? Okay, now the credits are finished, so we're gonna walk on over to the actual movie. I don't want to alarm anyone, but it looks like we might be walking through Irreversible to get there. Oh yeah, definite Irreversible vibes. The good news is our exotic dancer escapes. The bad news is I think she escaped into an Argento film. And she's not alone. This guy's like, you'll just feel a little prick.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean with this needle. Plus, he brought this tarantula. We last saw it in the Beyond. Okay, it's not the same tarantula. I'm sure those tarantulas died ages ago. Press F to pay respects. I think someone left the motion smoothing on for the killer here. After the killer does the deed, we jump to this editing bay. This guy's performance seems a little wooden. Also, why does this guy look like Jollo Bob Odenkirk? Anyway, he's letting his assistant do some work.
If you were my student, I'd say that's A+1.
I think he's hitting on her, too. I bet he could show her a real splice time. After a hard day of editing, Saul Goodman heads off to deliver a duffel bag of narcotics to Gus Fring. But before he gets there, he stops for this terrible jump scare. This is our lead actor, Claudio, who immediately starts making out with the lead actress. Saul is like, guys, I'm still standing here. He eventually makes it home, where his wife is shaving with this straight razor. Hope she's careful. One wrong move and she could be Stevie Nicks. Oh yeah, she's smoking. No, literally, she has a cigarette. And she's obviously not a fan of Italian genre cinema either.
It's filth.
Hey, let's not say things we can't take back. Words hurt, lady. Oh no, she's giving me the look. And now it's time for another great moment in horror film acting. Though I think this one is intentional.
I will cry. I would never, ever stop crying.
Not gonna lie, having an actor repeat a line of dialogue over and over is a new way of padding your runtime. I think that went well. Definitely easier than dealing with Skylar White. Over in another movie, Amazon Basics' Andrew Dice Clay settles in for a screening. Looks like this movie might be for dummies, judging by all the mannequins. And in the movie within the movie, it's Norm Macdonald. Man, I miss Norm. Anyway, Dice is pissed off his lady friend came for the chill part of Netflix and chill and not the Netflix part.
Babe, come on, watch.
That's an even better drug addict.
No way this whole lawyer to criminals thing ends well for me. Gonna wind up running a Cinnabon. Anyway, he's out here petting the cat.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. This actual cat. Props to the Astron 6 guys for actually making this look like a real Italian thriller. And it looks like we're about to cut it a little close with this straight razor. I mean, this was basically me in high school. Come on, stop trying to make out with me. You don't want to miss this kill scene. There's a Fulci cameo in it. Then he gives her a heaping helping of pimp hand. That all you got? I've been hit harder by global supply chain issues. She must like this because they're finally going to hook up. But the killer is coming in with the ultimate C block. Man, it's a great throat slash, but I know PruTube is going to shit a brick over all the blood and the gaping wound. I think we can probably show this shadow kill, though. I mean, who knows on this stupid platform anymore? Hey, Bob, wake up! We got the script for Nobody too! Then this happens.
Tension breaker had to be done.
Oh, sweet. She's hanging around, just like the scene in Suspiria. This is like if you asked AI to create an image of an Italian genre film director in the 70s, with some Roger Corman, Stan Lee, and Rutger Hauer sprinkled in. Hey, it's like Officer Gary Busey. Yep, totally a giallo. Everyone's a suspect.
I'll be keeping my eye on all of you. Everyone's a suspect. So I don't advise any of you to trust one another until I've found the guilty party.
And if he's like most of the cops in these films, he'll never find the killer. Meanwhile, Margaret looks like she just wandered over here from a Fulci flick. Look, Ray, we're up against it here. I'm gonna need you to edit 3 films for me this weekend. And there isn't even a bonus for his hard work.
Your job is to earn the $75 a week I pay you.
Blue filter office scene. Your due time on a desk, detective. And is this foreshadowing?
And you should really use your service revolver. That foreign knockoff of yours is gonna get someone killed.
Dance interlude. Looks like killer workout, aka aerobicide. Man, this new version of Flashdance is lit. She's a maniac. Not gonna lie. This year's stripper training camp looks like it's off to a great start. And our new Claudio is gonna give her a facial.
Hell yeah.
No, I mean he's gonna rip her face right off. I can't show that, but it's another great gore gag. Look at Ray. He's like, God, this movie sucks. I must confess, I'm not sure how I feel about this movie. Lawrence Harvey was clearly so traumatized by being in Human Centipede 2 he had to give his life to God to make up for it. Man, Lou Ferrigno looked a lot smaller off-cycle. This next scene is pretty steamy.
Hell yeah.
No, because he's in the shower. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Do you kids even remember Lou Ferrigno and Bill Bixby in The Incredible Hulk? Christ, I'm old. And cut. More of a stab, but work with me here. Hey, how'd Ray get kill footage in his editing bay? This movie's really trying to convince me he's the killer between this and the victims having lopped off fingers, but I've seen enough of these to know a red herring when I see one. Anyway, we're gonna stop for some exposition here. Ray used to do artsy films until he took on a crazy project.
I let my ego get the better of me, and I accepted the ultimate challenge. Edit the world's longest film.
And he lost his fingers in a tragic editing accident. You hate to see it. Ugh, these dailies suck. Yeah, I don't really see anything developing here. Now it's time for some deep thoughts. How does a sponge hold water if it's full of holes? Anyway, Ray's got a student editor, and judging by this, he's about to get a call from HR. Sweet. Looks like they're shooting this on the same set as Starsky and Hutch. Oh, here, have my Amazon Basics David Soul headshot. And it turns out the inspector and Discount David Soul's main squeeze have history. She has been on the receiving end of his tender pimp hands. My face is all broken out. I'm gonna need a mud bath treatment. This movie is so weird, guys. He takes off, but he forgot his straight razor. Could Bargain Basement Hutch be our killer? Nah, probably too obvious. Back in the editing room, Ray's checking out his intern's demo reel. Ian, Sarah, any thoughts?
It stinks.
She is clearly devastated by this critique. And she's also not very bright.
The way you edit with your wooden fingers, I see you suffering for your work. You're like Van Gogh with his wooden ear.
Yeah, wooden ear. Lance Henriksen, any thoughts?
That's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
Yep, definitely getting a call from HR. And now it's like a Foreigner song.
But I do know what love is.
I think she wants him to show her. And now the screaming starts. Literally. Oh yeah, sure. Let's stop for Chinese. We've earned a dinner break. Clearly, this isn't a fancy Chinese joint because there's no J&B, but they do still clearly have a smoking section. This guy seems very unhappy about the lack of J&B. But before Ray's wife can make a scene, she gets upstaged by her cop and is drive-by pimpin'. If you're wondering what just happened, he's been tailing Ray and doesn't like the way Ray's letting his wife speak to him. And his wife agrees.
He's right.
That night in bed, Ray's thinking some deep thoughts. If I feel bugs crawling on me when there aren't actually any bugs crawling on me, are those the ghosts of bugs I've killed? Why is it called a building when it's already built? And jump scare. Not gonna lie, that's a good creepy shot. Full GI zoom. And some great Italian horror movie prog rock, too. Now there's no one there. Let's check in with our detective and see if he can shine any light on what's happening in this movie. I know my performance review is in here somewhere. Oh, hey, it's Ray's file. And he's got company. Oh, hi there. And she moves fast. Watch out, lady. He's pretty free with the pimp hands. Oh, hey, it's Dr. Udo Kier. I forgot he was in this movie. By God, he's locked into sleeper hold. This match could be over. I don't even know if my JR can get any better at this point. Oh man, he's gonna give her a massive shot at Tren. She's gonna be huge. So, son, do you know how many of these movies I've been in? It's a lot. Anyway, he's gonna spill the beans about Ray.
He was an up-and-coming editor before I met him. Before he almost killed his assistant. Giuseppe.
I'm pretty sure this violates doctor-patient privilege. Oh yeah, let me show you how to cut a movie, son. Looks like Udo really loves his diploma. Oh, sweet bachelor's degree. You qualified me to make coffee at Starbucks. Nice, they're gonna watch TV. Maybe something better than this movie is on. So far, looks like Videodrome. And now they're done.
Don't tell Ray what we talked about.
Yeah, he could get in all kinds of trouble for violating his oath. Meanwhile, Saul Goodman's like, this witness relocation disguise is not very good. I look just like me. House establishing shot. And sure, let's throw in a little homage to the Beyond with a blind woman and a mean dog. I really can't shake the feeling these guys had no idea about what kind of story they were telling, but just wanted scenes that lampooned every giallo trope ever. I know she's blind, but this seems like a weird way to help her eat. After sexy time, we're gonna pay homage to Suspiria. Now our detective is gonna Jack Torrance's way in to save her. Oh Jesus, we got like multiple homages happening. It's like The Shining, it's like the Christopher George graveyard scene in The Gates of Hell, and it's kind of like Zombie. Probably 6 others I'm forgetting. And this doesn't look good. I'm guessing she's got a splitting headache. The upside, being blind, is now the least of her problems. Oh hey, why is he chopping off the fingers? Is he the killer or just trying to tie it to the killer since he did it? Here, puppy. These are finger-licking good. And let's settle our nerves with a drink. Still no J&B. Plus now he's setting up his subordinate to frame someone.
What do you say you saw the man who killed Marguerite? What do you say it in court?
And he's setting up the cop, too.
You've already forgotten that you were here. That your prints are on the murder weapon. You probably shouldn't be drinking while you're on duty. I haven't touched a drop myself.
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Back at the set, Ray's getting fired.
Get your stuff. Get the fuck out of here!
Before he leaves, he's gonna stop over at the editing bay to collect his things. So, now that you don't work here anymore, you think we can hook up, Ray? A6. This is like an A24 origin story. Then Ray heads home. Honey, are you watching Videodrome without me again? Yeah, definitely headed to Videodrome homage territory. And now it's basically the end of Prince of Darkness. Great, our bathroom butts up against an interdimensional portal. This is gonna kill our resale value. Told ya. Oh, sure. Let's check out the dailies. But here comes the killer. Looks like he's gonna take a stab at making this scene better. Oh yeah, live look at me every time someone puts on Halloween 3. Now it looks like it's time for some scissoring.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that. She's getting stabbed with them. Oh, we're headed to Fulci Sacchetti brutal eye violence territory. Yep, looks like she took the cutting room floor thing very literally. Looks like she's been stabbed here and there. Then this dude shows up. By God, Ray's locked in the claw. Man, these 70s pro wrestling promos were wild. Oh man, these guys need to work on their deadlift. Is he editing Spider Labyrinth? Man, I wish we were watching Spider Labyrinth right now. Normally I'd say how implausible it is that a cop could edit a feature film, but there's probably like 6 Italian horror films where this happened for real and no one noticed. Great. Editing for dummies. I really needed that in the early days of this show. Thank God we got Jay. Hey, those aren't real Fulci tarantulas. They're not squeaking. But spiders are the least of his problems. The killer is right behind him, like at the end of Tenebrae. Oh yeah, now that's a knife. He's pretty gutted about this, because the killer slices open his abdomen. Anyway, we haven't seen the inspector in a while, so let's check in on him. He's reading the paper. The headline there is an in-joke reference to Astron 6's Father's Day. And Lawrence Harvey's still in this movie. He's gonna deliver an exposition sermon.
In Roman times, editors were considered to be a bridge between the netherworld. They were used in summonings and bringing force and so on.
Lance Henriksen, we need you again.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
Hey, they got Claudio Fragasso to shoot this scene. And now it's an homage to the car. Oh, wait, maybe it's Pieces or Texas Chainsaw. This is a lot like that 2 guys, 1 chainsaw video. But he does say what we're all thinking.
You want to know why I cut you out of the film?
Why?
Because you're a terrible actor.
He doesn't give him the saw, but he does dole out a pimp fist for the road. And now he's seeing ghosts. Is that Sherry Moon Zombie in Halloween 2? Back at the studio, Ray looks into the light again and winds up in this weird alternate reality. Ghost Bella. Back at home, Ray's wife is reading a book. It's the 3 mothers. That's a little nod to Argento's Suspiria, Inferno, and Mother of Tears. Presumably Luigi Cozzi's The Black Cat, too. Honey, Hey, why'd you trash the place? Tell me why later. I need to return some videotapes. And Videodrome homage again. He's busy beating the idiot box with a wrench, so he doesn't notice that the killer is behind him. Hey, sorry, gonna be a little late for work. I'm kinda tied up. Wait a minute, is this dork actually the killer? And to add insult to injury, he's gonna make Ray watch while he gets with his wife. Except she's into it, and then he bails.
I'm really sorry about that. Okay, bye.
I wonder if they make a sympathy card for that. Sorry I hooked up with your wife, but it gets worse.
Cal and I are in love.
Now it's a Dolly Parton, Whitney Houston song.
I'll always love you.
Hey, could you at least untie me before we get divorced? And he's single now, so maybe he can hook up with Ghost Bella. I'll be damned. This script never really goes anywhere. And it looks like there's some fingering happening here.
Hell yeah.
No, these severed fingers are crawling. Then it looks like he's about to walk into the end of the void. Okay, now we're firmly in the beyond territory. Tarantula's in a library. And he's gonna stomp the yard.
Tenebras quam lucium tuam movendi.
You fool!
Man, this dude is on fire. Literally. You really can't say those magic words out loud. Lawrence Harvey is busy jibber-jabbering, but now it's a Metallica song, because the bell is tolling. Back at Cal's place, we're finally about to put Chekhov's chainsaw to use. It was totally worth the wait. A lot of sausage and gore here, so we had to cut judiciously. Yell at Prude Tube. Well, shit. Might as well rip off New York Ripper 2, I guess. Right down to the Fulci eye zoom. Back at Ray's place, our detective finds this. Oh, sweet, a slam book! Slam books. God, that takes me back. But he also finds this. I don't think those were the lady fingers he was expecting. Claudio Fragasso's editing bay. And more Videodrome. Tarman, is that you? With the feds and Hank closing in, Saul Goodman gets out of New Mexico. Great, a chase scene in a car with like 100 horsepower. Yep, almost as exciting as Bullet. Almost. Hey, that's where the car went off the cliff. And the cop follows him to his doom. No airbags, barely working seatbelts, no safety features, but he gets out and is totally fine. And the cop is alive too. Those cars were clearly tanks. Oh no, this cop shoots like a stormtrooper. How do you miss from there? Anyway, they run right into the swerve ending. The killer isn't Ray, it's his wife. Yeah, typical giallo. Whoever you expect the least is always the killer. He's got a gun and a snappy line, and she's just got a knife. This is gonna be fine, right? Not so fast.
Choke on this, bitch.
Yeah, gonna be wiping Southpaw for the rest of his days. Triple split screen. Oh, and Inferno homage. She's covered in gas, and Ray's got the hot hand. Guessing this is gonna be an explosive finale. Nailed it. That girl is on fire. Eat your heart out, Alicia Keys. Even in death, she's smoking hot. Afterwards, the detective has to check in with the chief, and for cracking the big case, he gets a heaping helping of pimp hand. Hey, wait, how's this guy still alive? Are we getting a swerve ending? And Udo Kier is here. Is our detective cracking up? And he runs to the bell tower to unearth one last secret. Presumably so we can work an homage to Deep Red and the Cask of Amontillado in here. Alas, poor Yorick. Sweet! I knew we'd find the missing original cut of Event Horizon someday. Oh my god, he's in the movie! And swerve. Cue credits. Oh hey, edited by Ray Ciso. And a post-credit scene. Aw, Ray got a happy ending after all. So, what have we learned from the editor? Well, for starters, you could still make some good jolly if you wanted to. I never really understood why we haven't had a renaissance of these kind of films. They're sort of timeless. This one is clearly a labor of love from people who know and adore the genre in the way I do. It's filled with clever little homages to Argento and Fulci and about a billion other films. As a standalone parody of the Italian genre film scene, it doesn't always work as smoothly as it could, but as a love letter to the films I adore, it works really well. So, it's basically an awful lot like the films it's parodying. But enough about that. Can the editor make enough cuts to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's go to the gore card. In terms of gross anatomy, the editor delivers. We're treated to lopped off fingers, decapitations, disembowelings, melting faces, chainsaw dismemberment, and too many other things to list. We can show hardly any of the gore here, but believe me, it's here and it's good. As such, I'm happy to give the editor a very respectable 4 barf bag rating. This one is a sick flick. Looking for another film with tons of splatter made by some of these same folks? Then be sure to check out my review of The Void. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.